Good afternoon, everybody. So today you'll be joining me on this. This is a D6N, and today I'll be showing you the basic controls. So once you get yourself in the cab, you get two joysticks. So your right hand side is for your blade, left hand side is for your tracks. So on this side, if you pull the joystick towards you, lifts the blade. If you push the joystick away, pushes the blade back down. If you push the joystick to the left, tilts the blade to the left. Push it to the right, tilts it to the right. And on this joystick you get a roller on the top here, so if you push it to the left, pushes the blade away. Push it to the right, obviously pushes the right out. Right. So we'll stick to the right hand side. So obviously this over here is your hydraulic lockout. So if I lift the blade or leave it down, lock it out, you have no hydraulics now. It's all locked out. I don't know what that is, to be fair. Don't know. Right, this lever, so if you have a ripper or winch on the back, literally you'll just push it away to lower the ripper, pull it towards me, and you'll be lifting the ripper. And it's the same with the winch, so you'll be winching out, winching in. Your horn, and then on the left hand side you have your steering, obviously. So you've got cruise control, then you've got your gears, and then you've got backwards or forwards, neutral and backwards. And then over here you have your transmission. So on here it'll just stay to a default. Click it once and then it'll change your gears. Click it a second time, change gear again. The little icon man here, so basically you can make or set, I should say, what gear you want, and it'll stick to that gear then. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So this is your throttle. So the auto sign just there, if you set it to that, so if I push my foot on the throttle, set it to that, comes up with this icon here. What this icon means is if you're pushing a large amount of material in front of you, the dozer will automatically kick itself down a couple of gears if needs be. And it's the same if the material gets less and less, the dozer will automatically kick itself back up to the set gear that you've preset it to. Obviously if you go full revs, you don't get that. So I'd recommend, if you're new to dozer driving, put it in auto. Even me, I've been driving dozers a while now and I still keep it in auto because it's just easier, because the dozer does it for you. Right, so you get this obviously cat display. On this display it's showing me that I'm in park, it's showing me my revs, it's showing me what gear we've selected, forwards and backwards or reverse. This icon here is showing me my hydraulic temperature. This one's showing me my transmission temperature and coolant temperature, engine. So this is these 0% and 3%. So this is telling me that I'm on a level plateau. This one's telling me my diesel level and my AdBlue level as well. So this is telling me that we're on a 3% slope in that direction, and then obviously you got your clock and your hours. So this little icon up here on the right hand side at the top, if you click these buttons here, this will come up with your machine settings. So yeah, I'll come back to that again in a minute. So then obviously you get your display, your totals, and your service operators at the bottom. You can curate your own profile. So if you want to do that, you can obviously create it, and you can set the machine to how you want it set. So if you create the profile, then go to machine settings, it will come up with blade response. So you can set how fast you want the blade to respond to however you drive it. And it's the same with the steering. You can set it to however or what speed you want to be turning at. Auto engine speed, that'll just kick itself. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but so yeah, so this is going back to the gears. So there's two ways of doing it. So you can click on here and you can preset it to whatever you want. So obviously that icon there is pretty much that icon. It is that icon there. So you can do it just by doing that anyway. So I find it easier just doing it this way instead of having to come through all the computer to do it. That is how to do the profile. So if you want to, then Cat have got their own grade control system. Obviously it's only on certain blades or dozers, I should say, on the newer ones, but yeah, so this icon here is your Cat grade system. So if you want to click on that, it'll come up with these percents. So if I want to do a flat grade, I can set these to 0. So basically on here you can use your joystick. So if you pull your joystick up to 0, get it as close as you can, because it doesn't matter, because you can change it. And same with this one, obviously tilt it that way slightly. Right, so this icon here, it allows you to select that grade, and then obviously you can change it to 0, which is a lot quicker, because as you can see, I'll show you how slow it is to actually try and get to 0%. It'll take forever. So you can select that, and then it literally clicks it straight to there, and then it's 2 clicks to 0. And then it'll be the same again with this one. So the icon at the bottom, you press that and it'll flick from that side to this side, and then obviously you just press this button and it will select 0. So now the dozer is set at 0. So all you do to activate the system is you press this button here. So obviously when you're going forward, you select the button or press the button, and then it'll go into its Cat grade system, and then it'll hold the grade for you. But it will only hold the grade for you if there's a small amount of material in front of you. If you have a large amount of material in front of you, the system will not work. You have to have, I don't know, a maximum really of about 100 to 150 mil, and the system works perfectly. So all you do, if you want to use it, grade the large amount of material off, leave like 150 mil, 100 mil step, then use your Cat grade system, and it works perfectly every time. So yeah, so for instance, if they wanted you to do a batter and it was, for instance, I don't know, 4%. So we want 4% batter, or yeah, we'll go 4%. Yeah, sorry, 4%. So this is the angle of the blade, and this is the upwards and downwards motion. So we want 4%. So we've got that as close as we can get it, and then you just click it down to 4%, and then they want the slope at 2% rise. So all you can do is click this button, and then we want a 2% rise. So lower the blade to about 2%, or as close as you can get it. Then we're at 2%. So all you do is obviously make sure they're both on the screen, and then to activate it, like I said, you just press that button and you're away. But if you want to change direction, as in you don't want it to go up, you want the direction to go down, there's an icon here, this one, you press that, and then your dozer will start cutting down at 2%. And it's the same again on this side. So all you do, press this button again, and then obviously you just press this one and it'll tilt the blade that way. So that is the basics of your cat grade. Obviously, if you're new to dozer driving, I highly recommend it, because it is, I use it as well because it is so useful. If you're doing, for instance, a flat grade, you don't necessarily have to use this side, because it's not GPS. It's not, you know, you have to put quite a bit of input into it. So I mainly use this side to keep the blade flat. So obviously if you are going over a contour or anything, the blade will hold itself. You don't have to put any input into that. So obviously, like I said, if you're on a batter and you want to put a bench on the batter, so for instance, if you've got a digger wanting to load a dumper and you've got a bank like that, you can put a bench in for him dead flat. So all you can do is set this to 0 for him, and then go on the batter, your blade will automatically tilt level, and then you cut into that bank, tilt your blade. So what you'll be doing is you'll be going like that, tilting your blade in towards you like this, so the material then will fall away from you, and then obviously set it to 0, and the blade then will hold itself, and then the material will fall away. So there is a really good system. If you're new to dozer driving, I highly recommend it, and that's what it's there for, to be used. Right, the next icon is all your levels and temperatures. So obviously you've got your hydraulic temperature, you've got your engine temperature, transmission and engine oil pressure, then you've got your fuel time to refuel. It gives you an average of how many hours it will be until you need to refuel, but obviously it's an average because it depends on what you're doing. Then it's obviously giving you your battery voltage. Yeah, then you've got a camera. So on this display you can click that and it'll come up with the camera. My opinion, I don't use them because obviously the quality isn't the best. On the new dozers that they've just brought out, the next generation ones, the screen display is so much crisper. It's like, I don't know, 1080p, 4K, so the quality is a lot better. I tend to just look over my shoulder. Whenever I'm reversing, I always look over my shoulder. I never use the camera, because obviously, like I said, the quality just isn't there. And then your last button on the display is just a day and night. So obviously you can change the screen from day to night. So obviously if you're working a night shift, the screen obviously isn't bright for you, so you can just flick it to night and then the screen will go dark. And so basically that's pretty much all the controls on the display. And then obviously down here you have your fans, so obviously you can change your temperature and whatnot, your aircon. Obviously down here you've got your throttle. So with the throttle, it's quite difficult to get used to, obviously, when you're first starting out on a dozer, because it is really confusing. Because obviously if you've been driving a car or a truck or anything like that, obviously you push your foot to go forward or to build the revs up. Obviously with a dozer you have to push your foot to the floor, turn your revs up, then release your foot off the throttle for it to rev up. And the reason why they do that is because obviously your foot then will be off the throttle. So if they didn't do that, your foot then would be constantly on the throttle all day. So that's the only reason why dozers have the backwards throttle, because obviously then you can just rest your foot. And then the pedal next to it, so this is your brake. So obviously when you're wanting to come to a stop, just press it slightly and then you're obviously slowing the machine down. But obviously when you're changing from forward to backwards, you always want to come to a stop, because it puts a lot of pressure on your transmission. If you don't, what it'll do is you'll hear a lot of banging. So definitely when you're doing it, so you want to be pushing your material, come to a stop, then go into reverse. So it'll be forward, neutral, then reverse. And it's the same obviously from reverse, neutral, come to a stop, then go forward. And then up here you have your lights, your windscreen wipers, and obviously radio. But yeah, that is a quick guide on the basic controls. If you have any comments or anything like that, or you want a bit more advice on something, or just leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, that is the basic controls of the Cat D6N. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you on the next one. See you later. I'm feeling high.